If you thought our current teams were crazy, just wait until you see what the developers have been cooking up in the lab for us. We need to talk about what is coming next in NTE because it is going to completely blow your mind and flip how we usually build our accounts. But hey, before we dive into the absolute madness that is the 1.1 update, if you love theory crafting, deep diving into the meta, and staying ahead of the curve, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel a lot, and we've got some massive goals to hit this month. Plus, you don't want to miss out on any of the spicy leaks and strategies we discuss here. All right, hear me out. The 1.1 update isn't just a tiny patch, it is looking incredibly stacked. We are talking about a massive influx of content that changes the core gameplay loop, gives us new areas to run around in, introduces game-changing quality of life updates, and brings in characters that completely rewrite the damage ceiling. Let's break this down together, starting with something I know a lot of you have been waiting for, the exploration and world updates. Okay, picture this. You've spent hours grinding, doing your anomaly commissions, and staring at the same city streets. But in Phase 1.1, the map is opening up in a huge way. I don't know about you, but I love pushing into new territories, and we are getting two brand new exploration zones: the Eastern Industrial Zone of Heathrow City and the Skyline Commercial District. Now, keep in mind, translations can be a little wonky sometimes, so these names might change a bit when they hit the live servers, but the sheer amount of new ground to cover is undeniable. Alongside these new areas, we are stepping into Chapter 3 of the main story, currently translated as Threshold Echoes. If you are a lore nerd like me, this is where things get juicy because this chapter is supposedly going to dive deep into the actual origins behind the anomalies. We're not just fighting them blindly anymore, we're getting the backstory. And naturally, with new regions come new anomaly commissions and region-specific coins to hunt down. It's a whole new grind, but the good kind. But honestly, the part of the map update that has me the most hyped is Puka Land. This theme park area is finally unlocking in Phase 1.1, and it is going to be so much fun. We already have the area in the game, but now it's actually opening its doors. The craziest part? There is going to be a fully drivable ice cream truck. Yes, you heard that right. I cannot wait to just cruise around the map in an ice cream truck, maybe throw in some cinematic speed ramping when I edit the footage later. It's going to be legendary. There's also heavy speculation about rideable roller coasters and brand new interactive date spots. It completely shifts the vibe of the game from just a sweaty combat simulator to a world you actually want to hang out in. Now, let's talk about the system changes, because the devs are making moves that affect how we actually play the game day to day. First up, the absolute godsend, a dialogue skip feature. Listen, I love the story, but if you're managing multiple accounts, or you're just stressed because you've got finals and big projects to study for and you just want to get your dailies done, this is massive. You can finally blast through the text and save so much time. For my mobile players out there, rejoice. They are rolling out deep performance optimizations meant to seriously cut down on the crashes, reduce that annoying lag, and stabilize those frame rate drops. The whole game should just run buttery smooth after this. If you've been heavily invested in the business management systems, your life is about to get so much easier. They are adding one-click restocking, a dedicated shopping list for buying your items, new employee talents to unlock, and even fresh decorations to trick out your stores. This is exactly the kind of account management optimization I love to see. It lets us focus on the fun stuff instead of clicking through tedious menus. But we need to have a serious talk about the new auto drive feature. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I hate it. The driving mechanics in this game are actually incredibly fun. Drifting around corners, weaving through traffic, it's a blast. By adding an auto drive button, it feels like they are totally removing the purpose of having such a great driving system in the first place. Maybe I'm just tripping, and maybe some of you want the game to just play itself while you look at your phone, but personally, I'm not a fan. Let me know in the comments if you actually plan on using auto drive, because I just don't get it. Speaking of hanging out, let's talk about the housing system. This is a change that a huge chunk of the community has been begging for. Up until now, if you wanted to invite someone to your parent home to chill, it was strictly limited to female characters. But that restriction is finally gone. You will now be able to invite male characters, like Bion and the upcoming Chaos, right into your house. And they aren't skimping on the interactions either. These guys will have all the same interaction options as the female roster. We're talking holding hands while walking around, hopping into vehicles together, cooking up meals at home, and just kicking back to watch TV. It is the ultimate cozy update. Just remember, the ultimate Swiss Army knife for unlocking these features is getting your friendship level up to 4, exactly how it works for everyone else right now. Alright, enough about the cozy stuff. Let's get into the nitty-gritty meta-analysis. Let's talk about the damage. Let's talk about Lacrimosa. We already knew she was coming, but she is officially dropping in the first phase of 1.1. We actually got a sneak peek at her kit during the game's prologue, so we aren't completely in the dark here. I'm not going to bore you by reading every single decimal and multiplier because we'd be here all day, but we absolutely need to discuss how her core mechanics are going to completely shift team building. Lacrimosa is the queen of damage over time. Her entire identity revolves around this mechanic called Nightmare. Think of her like one of those premier DOT enablers in games like Honkai Star Rail or Wuthering Waves. She is going to watch the enemies melt. Every single time one of her attacks connects, she applies a stack of Nightmare. This can stack all the way up to 10 times, dealing continuous chaos damage every single second for 3 seconds. The only catch? If an enemy manages to heal themselves, it strips away one of your hard-earned stacks, so you have to keep the pressure on. Her normal attack strings are incredibly dynamic. She uses an aim button to swap between 2 distinct firing modes. The first 4 shots in her sequence are these cool, ranged paint projectiles. But the 5th hit? It transforms into a heavy, short-range cannon blast that not only chunks the enemy's health, but also physically knocks them back. Her skill is where the real role compression comes in. It also features 2 distinct forms. In her base state, she tosses out a summon that explodes for area of effect AoE damage and instantly slaps 5 stacks of Nightmare onto the targets. Instantly getting half your max stacks from one button press is absolutely insane value. But if you switch to her mimic form, she brings out a monster that acts like a secondary party member. This thing copies enemy attack patterns, shreds through shields, interrupts enemy animations, and dishes out crowd control. She basically does the job of 2 characters at once. And her dodge? Oh man, this might be the most stylish movement tech in the game. If you hold the dodge button down while you are out of combat, Lacrimosa literally morphs into a cute little bat and flies around the map. Yes, it drains your stamina bar, but for exploring vertical areas or styling on a boss by flying over their mechanics, this is going to be top tier. Finally, her ultimate. She summons a massive creature that crashes down, dealing AoE damage 5 separate times. The kicker here is that every single one of those 5 hits applies another stack of Nightmare. Between her skill and her ultimate, maxing your DOT stacks is going to be an incredibly smooth rotation. So, how do we build your new best friend? For team compositions, she is going to absolutely thrive alongside Zakiri. Zakiri provides that crucial scorch effect, making them a lethal duo. She also plays incredibly well with Defoto. When it comes to her weapon, or arc, her signature is called the Last Rose, and it is custom-tailored to be absolutely perfect for her. It provides a massive base of critical rate and spikes your attack stat by anywhere from 28% to 40%, depending on how many awakening levels you secure. But the real secret sauce is its passive. Every single time the wearer triggers DOT damage, you gain a stack of Chaos Thorn. These thorns dynamically increase your critical damage based on how many you have. It creates a perfect self-feeding damage loop. If you are a free-to-play gamer and aren't swiping for her signature, your best fallback options are going to be Shiny Days and Mind Rail. Just manage your expectations because the damage drop-off compared to the Last Rose is going to be highly noticeable. For your disc and car rages, you are hunting for the Diabolos set. If you are pulling for her signature weapon, your main stat priority should absolutely be an elusive chaos damage bonus piece. However, if you are skipping the weapon, securing a critical rate main stat is the much safer play to ensure your hits actually crit. You can tweak this and run critical damage instead. You have to look at the raw math of your specific account and balance your ratios. For substats, you are sweating over the usual suspects: critical rate, attack percentage, critical damage, and flat attack paired with universal damage bonus. If your count is already sitting at level 40, you need to start pre-farming right now. Head over to the rubber hole, start doing those clock tricks, and grind out that Diabolos gear. So we know Lacrimosa is Phase 1. Phase 2 brings us Chaos. We are pretty deep in the dark regarding his actual kit, but we do know he belongs to the Lakshana element. Here is a massive warning from the CN theory crafting community, though. If you are planning to pull for Chaos, they are strongly advising players to stop heavily investing resources into Horror right now. This heavily implies a massive power creep situation where Chaos might completely replace Horror's niche, so save your materials. And speaking of looking ahead, the rumor mill is already churning for patch 1.2. Take this with a massive grain of salt, but speculations are pointing towards Shinku and Exi hitting the banners in 1.2. Nothing is confirmed, but it's always good to plan your currency. To prepare for all of this, you need a mountain of beetle coins. I highly recommend farming the current anomaly zones nonstop. Leveling a new character up to 60 costs roughly 1 million to 2 million beetle coins. You are going to go broke so fast if you pull these new units without a stash ready, so aim to farm up at least 2 million right now. Also, a quick heads up on your account dailies. The current battle pass is going to rotate out soon, so make sure you grind out those final levels before it changes. And in your cafe shop, check your owner selection. They are adding new chapters there. If you haven't finished the current ones, lock in and get it done. For those cafe stages, the absolute most meta team right now is Nani, Mint, and Bion. Honestly, Bion does all the heavy lifting. You literally just click on the hammer icon and you win. It's that easy. To tie a bow on all of this, we are getting a massive developer live stream on May 23rd. The broadcast will be hosted on Bilibili, which means the initial stream is going to be entirely in Chinese, aimed primarily at the CN player base. The official English translation usually drops a day later. During that stream, the CN servers are confirmed to be getting a promo code worth 300 new list, and it is highly likely Global will get the exact same freebies. There's also this mysterious new character design floating around that I'm desperately hoping becomes playable, so we'll be watching closely to see if she gets revealed. If you want to be completely ready for 1.1, your best bet is to just clear out the 1.0 content. Hunt down those anomaly commissions, 100% your maps, and finish your lingering quests. But most importantly, don't let the grind stress you out. Play at your own pace and enjoy the ride. So, what do you guys think? Are you pulling for the DOT Queen Lacrimosa, saving for chaos? Or are you just here to drift an ice cream truck around Puka Land? Who are you planning to pair them with? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to read your team ideas. And I will see you guys in the next video.